Well, I'm back. I thought I better interject. I've been told by some of the viewers that you will need to be more precise in what you're doing. So we are doing taking the motor and the assembly out. I continue to strip the firewall, fender well, out of everything. This will all be cleaned up then and painted. It will attach at that locating spot there. I may have to move some of the fender to roll back so it doesn't hit that lip right there. But when we're taking the motor out, we have to disconnect this piece, power steering pump with the bolts. The fan shroud comes forward so it gets out of the way and it'll access the radiator bolts right here. Most of the bolts on these old Fords and older cars are standard, and it's 7/16, half inch, 9/16, 5/8. The one good thing about the import cars is you only use about 3 wrenches, a 10 millimeter, a 14 millimeter, maybe a 12 or 13, and that's it. Whereas here I'm using all kinds of stuff. Now here's something that I call a ghetto, that the person was too lazy, too cheap, didn't have it, make what works, and I do that too. But look at this wasted hose clamp. It's too big, too small for the thing, so we added 2 together to put on here. Same here, so we're going to disconnect that. We're dropping the antifreeze, and sorry my tree hugging candle burners, but I'm dumping that right onto the ground. You know, you might have a few stray cats or dogs that you don't like in your neighborhood and are going to try to wreck and crap on your lawn. So maybe they can have a treat. Just kidding. I'll be putting some floor dry on there and getting rid of that and blending it in. But there's really no reason for me to catch that. I'm not going to reuse it. One of the things that's important here is these lines right here. Those go to the transmission cooler lines, and you can put an external cooler line in and just plug those off and have a regular radiator. That's not a problem. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. I might do an external transmission cooler. Automatic transmissions have to have cooling system in them so it keeps the oil clean. And then I go over to this other side here, and you can see where I'm still disconnecting all of the electrical and moving it out of the way. Not really part of the engine removal process, but it is the process to get down to the naked frame. And I wanted to show you another thing here, that electricity, the killer of that is high resistance, bad connections. And so here we've got a frayed battery line, battery cable that's all wore out, and it's doing the job. But if you're on a 7-lane highway down in the People's Republic of Minneapolis and you get broke down due to a bad connection, you could end up in a bad spot on the highway or a bad neighborhood or whatever. Another thing is some knucklehead is beating on the top of this to push this in. There's a tool that spreads that, sets it in, and then squeezes it. As we pull this off and look at the corrosion on it, that pitting, that causes a bad connection. When you have high resistance, you have labor on your electric system that can lower the life of your alternator and the other fittings as well. And you can see here where they beat on that, and they got one different bolt for that, another different bolt for that. So just kind of a cob job. You can start to see the perfection of the Great One when you look at the cap bolts and the cleanliness and the streamlined ability of this engine that's going to go in. The whole rest of the truck will match that. Oh no, it's an alien peeing in my yard. Oh, it's the donor, Frankin Ford. Frankin Ford is peeing green. I think we're going to end up painting the lower half of this truck green. Anyway, I will go and continue removing pieces so that you can see where I end up. Fade to black.